Mailbag preview show, episode 270. Welcome to the boys. Obviously, a big show last week, plenty of winners, as you would have seen highlighted on social media on Sunday. We're going to have a look at Morphettville. We're going to have a look at the Valley, and we're going to have a look at Randwick. Rob, sticking with the same process as last week, going in the last.
Make them wait.
Make them wait. Yeah. Sorry. How you going, Rob?
Yeah, good, mate. Another cracking day in Sydney. Glorious to be out there at Canterbury yesterday. Got some good results. Got coffined again. But yeah, enjoying it, and no excuses at the moment with these good tracks. Expect another good one on Saturday. Even got my folks coming down for a few races, so good to bounce off them as well.
Oh, could be some daddy stuff there, so be careful, punters.
And
great cricketer style.
Benny, the man with no face. What's up?
Yeah, I don't know. Something's going on with the cam here, fellas. So you're gonna have to look at a black screen for me today. But sort of Jono will sort something out.
That's not the worst.
We'll put a photo of cause for concern there, and post and
yeah, that'll be the go.
Shawnee Matthew, Benny said.
And Jack, how we doing? It'll be first time back at the Valley since the Kiwi Imperatriz on William Reid night came over and
I cannot wait. I love the Valley. We've got a runner who's very well placed and very, very exciting Saturday. Looking forward to it.
All right, perfect. Shall we kick off at Randwick with you, Rob?
If you like. Rails out 5 meters, and I've got me thinking that that's going to be hard to lead and win on the inside, and running line maybe 3 wide. It's going to be old school, kind of a little bit swoopy, and being on the inside, especially in the straight, is going to be a disadvantage. That's the rail 5, just because usually about rail 7 or 8 meters, that lane 1 is pretty damn hot. So I'm just thinking, the horses on the inside might, the outside might have a bit of advantage. So we're going to go to race 10 again. Really even card for the whole meeting. I really kind of struggled to see anything that kind of excited me across the nominations and the acceptances. Not that I looked that hard, but there's a horse I've had pretty much no luck with. It's called Banana Strand. It's for the Ryan stable, which has actually been going very well for me lately. Silent Stays, Grabini.
Which race is this?
Race 10.
Is it Banana Queen?
Yeah.
So I call it Banana Strand. Oh, well, that might be a different horse. Banana Queen. And I just think it's a big so you think. What do you know, Jono? And I saw it win for first up at Warwick Farm last time in. It didn't look ready. And
if Rob was running the Mailbag bloodstock, we just have so you thinks out our ass, wouldn't we?
Sure would.
A couple of years ago, Coolmore knocked him down to 50. What were they thinking? I knew. Anyway, but
another letter going to Coolmore.
Yeah. What are you doing? Your best stallions, you got him 4th on the list, but he's your best. Anyway, they've got Wooden Bassett there now as well, which is going very well. Anyway, so this horse, I'm not quite sure where it's going to get to in the run, because it 1400, but I just think it's going to be off the fence, and it's got a touch of quality, and it's $4, no spoil, but I think it can win as it's just the best horse in the race. It just doesn't look to be that many, quality runners, and there's going to be enough speed on, and 1400. I don't mind them being stuck out a little bit wide, especially on this kind of track. So I'm kind of going around in circles, but I'm looking forward to seeing it. So if I do back something else because I like it in the yard and the old man's keen as well, that could happen. But right now, Banana's Queen is my best for the day.
I like it. Nash, Barrier 7, on pace horse, SP profile's nice. It's got a bit of an edge versus Exelitis. Lovely. Nash
quietly achieving that at 18% last 50. He's not talked about that often, but love following.
What's your read on Nash at the moment, Rob?
I haven't seen him much. He wasn't there yesterday. He's just A grade. He's one of those positive jockeys that makes things happen, takes races by the scruff of the neck. I call Hippo the B grade Nash, and I love Hippo. So that's my read on Nash.
Perfect. All right, shall we head to Adelaide with you, Benny? Morphettville, which race are we taking a look at?
Yeah, mate, I just wanted to look at race 1 and race number 3. We'll kick off in race number 1. Horse by the name of Eccentric Nature. Prusky Yard. I think this horse is quite smart. Took care of a maiden quite convincingly, I thought, last start. Just showed a lot of talent. Look, he still is, he's quite raw, this horse, but it's like the way he knuckled down and got the job done. I think he's quite progressive. This looks quite moderate. Surprise coming for the Kylie Schultz yard. It goes okay. But I just thought this horse got the most upside. I think it will end up like a genuine Saturday horse. Not sure what level, but I think it'll be an open class horse. I think it's got quite nice ability. I think it'll be winning this and making it 2 out of 2.
Lovely. Good push.
Then we'll go to, we'll have a look at race 3, mate. There's a filly in this race that's bred in the purple. She's out of that really nice mare, Karuta Queen, called Queen of the Green.
I saw her.
She's
on
another
Goodwood
horse
Day.
that brings a bit of course. Yeah, what'd you think, Rob?
Forward that day, I expected it to run better than it did on Goodwood Day. I'm not sure if there's excuses, but
Here we go.
I thought
I figured out why he's on this. Oh God.
Oh, it's got cause for concern in it. Anyway, I don't know what happened that day, but she's not a bad sort. One of the sort of better sorts going around that day. And it was Goodwood Day.
Yeah. She did get a touch held up that day, but she was I thought disappointing. I actually had something on her at a big price, but the camp she was forward enough to run well, but I just think this is probably an easier sort of race that she's contested for some time. I think she'll be rock hard fit now. There'll be no excuses. Good barrier, good jockey. Bit of a D-day for mine with her, but I'm happy to be with her at around the $4.40, $4.60 mark. I think she's quite classy, and I think we might see a nice horse there on Saturday. But as Jack's alluded to, there is a bit of cause for concern for me there that I don't think she didn't let down on that real heavy track that day. I don't think it's going to be like a genuine heavy at Morphettville. I think it will be soft, but I think it'll be okay for her. So they're the two that I'm keen on in Adelaide, boys. Like I thought overall across Australia, it's quite a tricky day to tackle from a betting perspective. I've only got a couple at the Valley that we'll touch on, and only the 2 in Adelaide. So look, I think we stick to our guns and back the ones we like, and don't get too carried away this weekend.
Yeah, that sort of theme started yesterday for me at Sandown. That was a really tricky meeting. Just numbers on a tired track, and if you did bet, I reckon you would have lost. But the Valley, I think looks a little bit sexy. Some of it. Should we head there, John?
The Valley, yeah. Which race did you want to start off with?
Oh, let's get it out of the way. Let's get him out of the way. Race 5, 2,040 metre Cox Plate trip. It's not a Cox Plate barrier trial, not yet, but it could be. It's a benchmark 100 worth 150k. If you were to win this race, you win $82,500. My speed map looks like this: Lord Ardmore, Milford, and Keats. Probably the speed, maybe Flash Flood. No guarantee Keats leads. Flash Feeling, Bermudez, and then Irish Flame out the back. Lord Ardmore was a drifter in the Flemington race from the perfect barrier for Waller to be backed and ridden with intent. He's drawn well again and be ridden well again, but just think he's a little bit skinny, Rob.
Not sure he's going that well. Like 12 months ago, I thought he was going to, be like a proper Sydney stayer, like bordering on group class. And he seems to have sort of regressed a little bit off that. And I don't know what to make of him. Disappointing.
Yeah, and I think his last win was sort of this time last year. same sort of race at Randwick. Since then, he's sort of gone without. It looks to me like they sort of decided, well, he's not winning in Sydney, so let's try him in Melbourne. This is his second go Melbourne way. Like I said, he's 850 out to 11 behind young Verta. He's ridden well there. He was settled 5th in run. Jai rode him there. Jai sticks here. Jai's riding well. It does suit Jai a lot. But I just thought, bit of a waller number. Milford goes pin to shin. It went shin to pin. Now it goes back pin to shin. It comes through that same race. So Lord Ardmore started $11 in that race. Milford started $5.50, ran second. Flash Feeling comes through the same race and started $6.50. So there's a hole there for me in the market. The disparity in price between Flash Feeling and Milford is probably a half a point to a point too big. But having said that, I think if you sort of trust that form, that's how you got to play the race. If you think that form's sort of numbery, which I do, it's basically Flash Flood and Keats. Then you look at Flash Flood, Carleen Sticks, been up forever, 3 weeks between runs, beat Chief Al Tony last start. I think this is a step up big time for this horse. It's coming out of a benchmark 84. The weights reflect that, so it's going to carry 51.5. It's going to get a great run. It's 1 from 1 at the Valley, which is a tick for the horse. Whereas a horse like Bermudez, who's going awful, has never seen the Valley. Might be a good thing for it, but has never seen it. Lord Ardmore's never seen it, and Milford's never seen it. Then we talk about our horse, Keats. Jockey Switch, plus. Willow on the horse before. Track and Trip, 1 from 1, plus. It's got an SP this time last year against better than Milford, Bermudez, and Flash Feeling. I think it's going to get every possible map wise. I think 2,000 metres suits, and I think it should start favourite, and I wouldn't be surprised if it does. I think it's the easiest bet of all time. It really, really is. I can't wait to get there on Saturday, and I think we'll be winning. Benny?
Yeah. Well done, Jack, on finding this race for this horse. And to all the team, just come up perfect for him. Map's perfect. All them reasons you just outlined, it's just perfect for him. Look, I will say I think the two hardest to beat are Flash Flood and Flash Feeling. I think they will be more positive on Flash Feeling with no weight, and they will go forward from 1. Whether they try and wrestle the lead, I don't think so, but it will be handy, and I think it'll either sit leaders back or outside lead. If, like, say, if Keats does roll and he rolls with us, then I reckon they'll pop off just with that weight. But I think Keats has been crying out for 2,000 for a little while now. I think he just hasn't had that little bit of dash that he did have early on when we did get him with that little change of speed that he had. He just looks like a 2,000 metre horse to me now. He looks well suited. Yeah, I just think if he's going to have a birthday, I think this is it. It just looks perfect for him.
I also reckon, Benny, like, you can. I worry with bias all the time with these setups because it's our horse, but his last run was as good a performance as he's sort of done recently too. So, like, he's thereabouts benchmark ratings wise.
Yeah, it's like, I think 100% talking bias, like, but as a punter, you try and not be biased, and you look at this race and you everything points to him. So regardless of being an owner or being involved in the horse, you've got to take the race on its merits, and it points to him in every direction. And it's not like you said, it's not like he's dropped off a cliff since he's won them races. He's been competitive in strong races all the way through without winning, which has obviously been disappointing, but he's done us proud every time. So, I mean, with all that being said, he just looks well placed here. I can't find a negative, really.
I'll throw in Craig Williams has been the best on this horse, but what's going to happen?
I also, just on top, we should just be clear though. I thought Celine Gaudret rides him enormous, and she's a great rider. She wasn't even available, to be honest. So it was taken out of our hands a little bit. But I agree, Rob. Like,
Yeah.
very, very,
I
very
think
happy with
I
it.
think just jump in quickly. I think Rob's spot on with Craig, because Craig he knows his horse well. And that night that he did win at the Valley, if you watch Craig, he pulls the stick into the left hand, and this horse really responds. And I think he gets that little bit extra out of him with the left hand. And I think it'll really suit this horse, and so does Craig.
Well, what's he going to do out of the straight though? Like from the, he's got the widest barrier here. He's not going to get across to lead before the first turn. So is he going to be 3 wide out of the straight pushing forward, or?
We'll have to find out, I guess. Who knows?
Yeah,
He did it that night that he won at the Valley and ran good time. So I don't think it's the worst if he is.
That was
no comment.
One of his more impressive wins was that one at the Valley, albeit like a pretty average field.
Yeah, but it wasn't an average time. It was a good number.
Yeah.
And so sometimes track and trip form can be sort of misleading. Like you can find, well, this is my opinion, you can find it like they might have won a maiden there or won a weak race there and they ran poor time, or it was a really heavy track or whatever. And it's not really relevant to the situation you find yourself trying to preview and analyse and bet into.
Mm-hmm.
They ran a good figure that night on a good track too. So I hold zero concerns about him at all. And I love that Craig's riding him, because whatever they do, whatever happens, I'm not worried. I don't care if we don't lead, from my point of view. I'd probably rather we didn't. Who knows?
No,
the last 150 meters is often tough to watch with him.
Yeah.
Always is.
All right, perfect. Next race at the Valley, Jack. Where are we going?
Let's look at the only other race that really interests me right now. I've still got a little bit of work to do. Is race number 8. I'll just kick it off, John.
Mm-hmm.
So race 8 at the Valley is a 600-meter race. It's a benchmark 78 for fillies and mares. So this is sort of a potentially a midweek race, which is relevant. Speed map: Arctica, Leavor, the speed. Silverina's got speed. Shandon Burge will get a nice cushy run with Defiant Diva behind the speed. I think Lazuka will kick up from the good barrier. Electric Bell wants to kick up. Divine Diosa wants to kick up, but probably can't. Delicious Tycoon's a similar story, and same with Bellini Miss. I think Lady Court, Sassolino, and Passion, geez, I think I nailed them, will be worse than midfield. Did I, Rob? Muted
Very
yourself,
good for you.
You're on mute, but he looks happy.
Yeah.
It's giving me a nod of approval. I couldn't see what Benny was doing because I can't see him. And neither can you. We're going to have a lot of fun with the cartoon that we picked for him. 2 horses I really like here is Bellini and Miss, the 14. But I hate the map. I think it's going to be on pace and inside on Saturday. And the other horse is Defiant Diva. I don't know if we previewed this race last time, John, but I certainly priced the horse pretty aggressively as a bet in the apprentice-only race. And it was... You want to talk about painful watches last 200. This thing was, I thought she was going to fall off. And she has fallen off post-race because Blake Shin's jumped on. And God bless him. This horse goes from the perfect barrier with the perfect run, but shifted near the 100 last start. It won't be shifting with Blake on. It'll land in the coffin, and it'll be very, very hard to beat. It's got a really strong SP profile, which is relevant to the race last week. I think we spoke about, or I definitely spoke about for the subs on the preview Zoom, was race 5. It was a really interesting race, and that was the Bow Bay Cuban Link Hellhound race. This horse has the same sort of form lines and a really strong SP versus them. It's a big jockey switch. It's a phenomenal map, and I think Defiant Diva will be very hard to beat in race 8.
Way to bring up Cuban Link again. I think Billy Egan dropped the whip.
Yeah. It's been a rough ride for the us Cuban Link backers the last 3 or 4 starts.
He's one of them horses now, isn't he?
Oh, like seriously. Sort of like so badly ridden that at the 400 you're giving up, and then at the 300 you're like, oh, could he?
I know.
100, you're like, oh, get fucked.
You go,
Jono.
Oh. I was just going to say, we couldn't follow Silverina again.
Nah,
I don't know.
she was ordinary. I
Mm.
think she's no, I've dropped her.
They've got all sorts of gear changes on, but whether
Yeah,
And,
I think
and the frog on. The frog goes on too. I'd expect in 10.
Howley seems to it's almost a gear change with Howley when he puts frog on. Horses that just aren't fine, he puts them on to rev them up. But I think I think they're clutching at straws now. I think they might be half spewing with a purchase. But look, hopefully they turn it around for their sake. But I thought she was quite ordinary. Just wanted to touch on race 1. If we've got a bit of time.
yeah, go
I
for
know
it.
this horse is one of yours, Jack, but I thought Archo Nacho looks very hard to beat in race 1, doesn't it?
Yeah, the only knocks the map.
Yeah.
So, like, I'd just much rather steam into this horse 3rd or 4th race, and I've seen a bit of evidence that it's fairer than I anticipate. Like, if it's mad on speed and inside, he's against that, and he might be too good for that, for sure. But
Yeah.
the map grabbed me up. Plus, Uncle Lynn's has been doing a bit of bloodstock work last night and hasn't finished the trial, so I obviously can't form an accurate opinion without my man's detailed analysis of the trials. And there's five fresh horses here that I've never seen before, plus a couple of fresh horses prep-wise. So it's the obvious for sure. And it's Mellum too. So if you dive into a bit of numbers work with that combination, just as an example from that draw, standby punters. Yeah, sort of 15% more likely than average to be positive from that draw. You'd think like they'd be pretty keen it's going to run a good race. It was luckless and should have won and was extremely like one of the biggest betting moves of 2023 was his horse on a Saturday. They went up $16. It was into 8s. Next time you looked, it was into 6s. It jumped $4.20 on Betfair, I think.
Yeah, from what I've seen from the jump outs, like there's okay form from the trials, but I mean, you're going to be going there hoping that they perform when we know this horse is this is a good horse.
And PG Moody's gone back to the nose roll for Ablett.
I don't think
talk about biases. Like I just want to love this horse. Ablett Senior, my favorite of all time.
Yeah, I know.
I've got to put that out of my head.
Yeah,
I saw Roussillon at Warwick. I saw Roussillon win at Warwick Farm, and it didn't impress me as a type that day. So if you like this horse, I want to bet around Roussillon, even with Blake Shin and that good map. I'm not sure it's much good.
What did you make of Prince Zero, Benny? It for me, it's the map horse. Started 2:30 on debut. That She Light came out and won the next start. Like it's 2 from 2, the thing that beat it. I think that She Light was a Saturday Flemington winner after winning at Sandown.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
but
I had a second pick. I thought they're the 2, but I just reckon there'll be intent from Archo. I think he'll sit. I honestly think he'll sit 1-1, maybe 3 back the outside, and I think he'll get over the top of them. Yeah,
and that's the sort of race that I think it is. So, like, if I back Prince Zero and all of a sudden I've got Arsho Nasho outside me, I'll be sick. I want to spew.
Yeah, which is likely from 2. He's got 2. We got 5. Like he's got 4. Sorry, we got 5.
Should we head over to Kiwiland? Is that it for the Valley?
Yep.
All right, cool. We had a few.
I will preview more races tonight for the people who have part of my prices and Lindsay's trial product, mailbag.com.au.
And didn't you cause a bit of a stir with your prices last week on old Twitster?
Unbelievable.
9 out of 10 winners for June.
I got asked about on the radio. I said, well, it's pretty simple. That's the price I had the horse that won. And generally, if I have it shorter than the market is, I'll have a bet. And if I have it longer, I would maybe lay.
I had a few people message me. Did you hear the radio segment with Dicko and his prices? I said,
what were they saying?
Nah, it was nothing bad. They just asking, they don't understand it. I said, well, it's pretty pretty cut and dry.
I'm
He's
so
not.
confused with what I'm confusing people with.
It's not like you're putting up units next to him and telling them what to do. Like it's
There are units on the sheets. If you buy the sheets, it says, here's my
but on
price
the results I'm
versus
saying,
what the market price was, because the market price is relevant to my price. It's a factor in my price. So if I have a horse $3 and the market was $3.50, and then now the market's $3, my price, you can adjust them yourselves in an Excel sheet that you get if you purchase it. That $3 would probably change to $2.80 because I want to be just slightly under the market. It's pretty fucking simple.
And if you combine that with like Jacko giving a tip from the yard for the same horse, you might shorten it even a little bit more.
Yes.
Twitter just proved itself to me even dumber than I had given it credit for. And
they're just clutching at straws as usual.
Maybe the game is not completely gone with that level of intellect. You know, there's still a chance to win because my God. Anyway, and the other thing is, Jack, I commented on it. You've put that graphic out every week and hasn't
every Saturday.
It hasn't raised an eyebrow, and just because.
Well, but I had to fill up on Saturday, so better try and stop me.
The very anticipated Kiwiland tips are back.
Well, hang on. Let's just stop for 1 second. Give me some stats, baby. What are you? 4 from 5? 3 from 4? It's fat.
3 from 4, I think. Yeah.
And that was a big. There was a bit of juice there last Saturday.
And a jockey switch.
Exactly. $7.50 last week. The one that went on.
And you're 3 from 4, and your only miss is when you wanted to be with the best rider of the White Kiwiland, and you copped the worst of all time. So,
exactly right.
John, you're able. You're star of the show. Benny's going to have to start hosting, and you're going to start tipping.
Yeah, and Vander Hoven's coming to Randwick tomorrow.
Jono's going to be strapped in.
That's a bit of me. We're actually going to Friday this week because I couldn't find a good bet on Saturday. There's a lot of hurdle races at Tarapa on Saturday, and then Otaki, which looks bottomless. So I've gone to the Riccarton synthetic tomorrow. Race 6, benchmark 75 over 1,200 meters. It looks a very chaotic map, and I thought the 5 over to you was pretty simple to roll forward. It's 1, 3 from 10. It's 1, 2, 3 from 6 since it arrived down south. So it's obviously flying. Same jockey sticks, Kylie Williams. She's flying. It just goes really well. The horse that it ran second to last start won again yesterday. It looks a pretty simple bet. I thought there's no odds yet, but I thought sort of $3 for it would be a good bet. And then I thought the 13 Pisco Sow, another ex-North Islander. For those sort of not used to New Zealand racing, any North Island horse that goes to the South Island is just like a massive tick. They all go well when they go down there. And this horse was competitive with some really good horses. Second behind Not Guilty, who recently went for, I can't even remember, like 600,000 or something on English Digital. So really good horse. It goes down to the South Island, which it's very inferior races down there. So I thought you could do a 2-bet strategy around the 5 over to you and the 13 Pisco Sow, and that's tomorrow, Friday, race 6 at Riccarton.
Beautiful. John, anything else we should talk about bloodstock wise?
No, we touched on Keats. We've also most likely got Atlantic Way racing at Toowoomba on Saturday after a pretty average ride 2 weeks ago. We'll be looking for a much better ride. The figures coming out of that performance were actually much better than we sort of anticipated. So he looks in for a winning chance.
All right. Well, is that us? Are we done?
I think that's us. Yeah. Unless anyone
God bless you all. Have a phenomenal weekend. God bless you, Benny. Great work tonight. Even though I couldn't see you, you sounded phenomenal. Ooh, husky country tones to it. Rob, I just love seeing your face. You beautiful man.
Hey, mate. Buy my stuff. August is here. Bloody hell. It's cheap.
I'm
eating up.
Like I know Ben's here and other people listen. I think Rob's number one. If I had to pay for it, I would. I don't, but if I did have to pay for it, I would. I love it.
Was
No,
it
he's a whisperer.
$20 winner yesterday at Canterbury.
Yeah,
Bigger than 20, wasn't it? Wasn't it sort of 25?
super.
Yeah, Silent Star never looked like getting beat. K-Mac, I'm loving him at the moment. But yeah, just I got no excuses with this dry tracks. We've got an idea what how the track's going to play. We've got the map, so all I got to do is just look at them and go from there.
Might be able to come and see you shortly. I'm coming up to Sydney.
Maybe have a round of golf. I hit them pretty well when I was overseas.
Yeah, there will be golf.
All right. Well done, boys.
Bye for now.
Bye for now.
Good luck. See you.
Bye.